you could be gaslit by these people in the red pill community.
Do you know how triggered I was just sitting at home smashing my screen? But I want to ask you something because I had a pretty big debate recently with somebody. And we were talking.
Child support is not for it's not punitive. It's not supposed to be a punishment for somebody, and it's not supposed to be fair for the parents. It's just supposed to be like, how do we fund the children? Like, that's all it's really for. Yeah. BruceDropEmOff went live off his burner account and got banned for calling Twitch.
I consider myself a fan of the show or whatever. So yeah. So, but listen, the last few. So it's weird because I don't like want to be that guy that calls in like every time like I disagree with you on something and then just call in.
Yeah, do it. Just
to have disagreements, but like, so there's a couple of things that you've said recently that that we're gonna just we're gonna just parse through it, and I'm gonna get your thoughts on it, and we'll just see where we end up.
Okay.
So I guess the best place to start is your interaction recently with Angry Man, and then I was listening to your conversation with Abba yesterday, and I guess my thoughts on that is, well, first let me start out by asking you, like, how do you feel about the quote-unquote black diaspora community? Like,
the divestors? I mean, I think it's pretty cringe, but I understand where it comes from.
Okay, that's okay. No. I was talking about okay, the divestor, the divestor community is cringe, but I was like basically just asking about the, like, do you know what the black diaspora is?
Oh, I don't know what the black diaspora is. No, I'm sorry. What is that?
Okay, so like it's like basically what people in the, it's not really a movement, it's not any cohesive like movement, but when people refer to the black diaspora, they're referring to people that come from like the Caribbeans and Africa who are living in America. So basically, like, it includes African Americans plus, like the people from the Caribbeans, like I said, Jamaica and Haiti and all that stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, so what that community does, I guess, and it's just hard to even call it a community, like I said, because there's so many different like sects of people. But they talk about these issues that I guess you've been having these conversations with, like Angry Man and Alicia and all these like people that I think like probably aren't the best representation of like these conversations that are being had. So, all right. So you had said, like, during that conversation with Abba yesterday, you said the conversation with Angry Man became a slugfest about black men shitting on black women, but I had all my Annalicia talking points, so I was ready. And I guess my question is, I could like kind of guess what you mean by that, but I guess the best thing would just be to start by asking you what could you like elaborate on that a little bit?
Apparently, I didn't know this until Annalisa pointed it out, but I guess there are a lot of oh my god, a lot of red pill communities online spend a lot of time like in their feelings about black women, and that comes out in red pill basically. And it seems like depending on the type of conversation you're having, like very quickly things can become like racialized, really, even if you didn't expect them to, basically.
Okay. So yeah, no, and that's pretty much what I thought. But a couple things here are happening that are making my head spin.
Okay.
So when Annalicia came on, shit, I don't think I heard her mention, at least the first day, the red pill community like one time. Maybe in like further conversations she elaborated, but it seemed like she was coming in, and me and you have talked about this before, but she was blanketing the whole black, like all black men do this. And if she was talking about a specific, hyper specific online community of black men, I would agree with her, because the red.
Well, she literally came on initially was to talk about Fresh and Fit, and she gave me the perspective that she felt like for a lot of black like red pill people, that a lot of what they were complaining about, the perspective from it was actually issues within the black community.
Okay, well, yeah, that is true. Issues, they do bring up issues within the black community, but the way that the conversation is kind of framed in the red pill community is not indicative or reflective of the conversations that are had in a wider in the wider, you know, like population of black people. And I mean, it's hard to say black community because there's 42 million black people in this country, and I'm not just coming in on here to say, you know, we're not all like that. We're not, but I do want to have this specific conversation with you because, well, I don't know how interested you are in this topic. Like, I wouldn't imagine you're super interested in, like, you know, hyper specific black issues and, like, you know, like things that
I mean, it's pretty
black
interesting.
people argue about. Oh, well, okay, so, well, in that case, do you, outside of the red pill community and outside of like your orbiters, what black creators are you familiar with?
Oh, it's basically just whoever I'm like interacting with. Right now, it's a lot of basically red pill people online are the people that are interacting with. These are the ones and the talking points that I'm becoming most familiar with.
Yeah, because that's like, in my opinion, that's like the bottom of the barrel when it comes to these conversations. Like,
it might be, but it's the top of the barrel when it comes to popularity online. So,
not. I mean,
who are more popular black creators than Fresh and Fit?
More popular black creators than, like, what you seen overall or in the red pill community?
Just overall on YouTube. Who's more popular than like Fresh and Fit?
Marquez Brownlee.
Wait, the guy that does cell phone reviews?
Yeah, the tech guy. Yeah.
Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. He doesn't talk about black. Unless I'm sorry, he might have another channel where I totally miss it. But that guy.
Oh, you mean that specifically talks about black?
Yeah,
issues?
that talks about like social
Sorry,
issues. Yeah, social issues and stuff. The only other people I can think of are Abba and Preach, and I have Abba on my stream all the time. But aside from Abba, like, I don't know, these are like the guys. These are the biggest guys that are having conversations that oftentimes get racial online that I know of.
Yeah. Yeah. No, not even. That's not even close to the tip of the iceberg. Have you ever heard of Math Hoffa?
Nope.
How about Joe Budden?
Nope.
How about Roland Martin?
No, but who are these guys?
Oh, these are just various black people. The first two people I mentioned are in the hip hop community.
You do have people.
Hip hop. They're like hip hop podcasters, but they obviously talk about black issues all the time.
Okay.
The Joe Budden podcast, I'm not familiar. I'm not sure of the numbers at this moment, but they're at least as big or bigger than Fresh and Fit. And then Roland Martin, the last guy I mentioned, is like a older black dude who just specifically covers black issues. He's got over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. He's huge. And then you've got Khadija Zimbabwe. She talks about social black issues all the time. She actually just got going through a whole beef with Abba and Preach. I don't know if you paid attention to that whole thing. But yeah, they just got done going through a whole thing. There's Intellectual Media. There's the African Diaspora News Channel, which I actually think is it might be a good place for you to start. But yeah, I mean, if you're interested, like, I can like toss you some videos to review online, and it'll kind of give you, like, I guess, a better reflection of the conversation that's happening.
Well, I don't care about their conversations. I'm not like looking to like, I need to like read up and get into all of the black community conversations. I'm interested in the conversations that are happening like, kind of like in my sphere of the internet is what I'm looking at. Like, I'm sure there are tons of different conversations involving tons of ethnicities and black people and all sorts of things, but like, I'm not here to go and do research on those things. I'm just looking at combating the ones that specifically come up in like the communities that I guess I'm around in.
Well, yeah, it's not even about research. It's just to get a fuller picture of what's going on, because you said it feels like in the online black communities, there's black guys who are brought up by single mothers who are told black men are horrible because of the experiences their mom had, and then they grew up to hate black women because of the experiences they had, and they start bringing up.
I can qualify more. It's not black men in online black communities. It's black men in online red pill black communities. If I said that, would that make you feel better?
I mean, it's not really about making me feel better, because I know what you mean by that. Yes, it would be better if you said it like that. It would be better, but I'm not here to tone police you or tell you how to talk or like anything. I was just really interested in just getting your perspective on how you how you want to approach this, because I mean, you could be gaslit by these people in the red pill community that will have you thinking that all black men hate all black women, and that there's this huge there's this huge ripple in the black community between black. Now, I'm not here to say that that there's no truth to that at all. There's definitely a component of I guess internalized hatred that goes on, and then it gets kind of expressed and hatred for the other sex. But I think that kind of follows American trends, like of American misogyny, and men are just misogynistic, period. And then when you get into the black red pill online community, you're gonna get like your super fucking red pilled guys who sometimes are even black pilled, but they're definitely red pilled on women. And you know, when you're having these conversations about Andrew Tate or non-black people in this space, it's just like I don't hear the same kind of generalizations when it comes to that. And
what kind of generalizations?
Saying that so you're saying that the online black red pill communities, like you're saying that, like you're putting race on it, like it has like this special qualification in the black red pill community, when I think it's just the red pill community in general, which just has hatred towards women. Like if
there's
black,
a very specific
white,
hatred
Asian, towards
black women in these communities, though. Like, I'm willing to bet that if you were to go back on that podcast with those three guys and you were to ask them, did we talk about this? If you were to say, should black men date black women? I bet all three of them would say, no, stay the away from black women.
Well, I would call that internalized racism. I wouldn't call that overall reflection of how black men feel about black women.
Okay, I'll add more qualifiers, I guess. I don't know. It's not. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, like in online red pill communities that are driven by black men and have black audiences, it seems like there is a special animosity towards black women, like a massive amount of animosity.
There is.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that.
But it's not just
I'm
sexism. There's a racial component too, because it's a special vitriol for black women over women of other races.
Do you understand where that comes from, or are you interested in understanding where that comes from, or are you just content to just accept Annalicia's point of view?
Well, I feel like I've heard black men say the same thing too. I feel like is it a debated thing? My understanding is that it seems like black women, especially single black moms, grow up with a ton of resentment towards black men because they have a very negative perception of black men in black communities as people that get locked up, as people that kill themselves in drug shit, as people that leave their mothers, and that animosity carries over to their children, and they treat their young men in different ways where they can feel the animosity. So when those men grow up, they have really negative perceptions of black women too. And then there's all the negatives that come along with being in lower class neighborhoods with poor people where you have all these problems. So it becomes very easy for successful black men or black men growing that want to leave that community because that community is in their mind like destroyed and busted. Meanwhile, the black women feel abandoned, the black men want to escape, the black men already feel hated by the black women. It seems like that's the trend. That was my understanding of it. You can tell me if you feel like I have some of that like super wrong or something, but
yeah. So, well, okay, you had a couple things right, and I think a couple things were being kind of conflated. But the things that you had right were yes, there like I guess still is generations of single moms who are raising black boys by themselves, and they do have resentment towards the men that leave them, and sometimes that resentment can turn into hate, and that does happen. But I don't think that it's solely because it's just because I don't think it's as simple as just like the black men are leaving and the women are despising them, and then they're raising their sons by themselves, talking about hating black men, and then the sons are raised to kind of despise their moms, and then that turns into
what part am I off on? You just tell me, I guess, and I'll know for next time.
Well, so the internalized racism comes from a lot more than just like mommy issues, I guess you can if you want to just put it that way. Hatred towards women, it comes from society, it comes from our own experiences, obviously, and then if you're talking like specifically about black people, if you're talking about black men who hate black women, which I think is the extreme minority of black men, if you want to have that conversation, that's I guess you can, but that's not like I said in the beginning, it's not indicative or even.
Wait,
like,
I don't think I got any. You didn't give me
a,
anything I can use for another conversation. I heard society. I don't know what you. I have no idea what you just said. So I gave you a set of very specific circumstance that it feels like a lot of these black men grew up in that lead them to hating black women. And then you said, well, some people have experiences in society, and that's why they hate black women. I don't know what that means.
Okay, so all right, you're right. I was not clear enough on that. So black people, I think, in this country have a very specific set of, or a very specific
Okay, can I take a stab at what you're going to try to say? Because this is what all the black women tell me you're going to say, and I can try to take a guess. You can tell me if it's right or wrong, and then we can go from there. It sounds like what you're going to say is black men might have a special animosity towards black women, but that's not because of black men. It's actually something that's forced on the culture externally because of things like white supremacy or colonialism or the types of power structures that exist that kind of keep black people down in general. So a lot of the ways that society negatively influences black men causes that negativity to come out in their perspective of black women. So it's not necessarily black men that are to blame. It's like white power and white people and white supremacy and all of that that's to blame.
I'm not so sure I would say it's white supremacy to blame, or like white, like, you know, anything to do with white people specifically. I'm just saying, like, when I say society, I just mean like America as a country. Not anything like specifically white people, but
sure,
you know,
I understand what you're saying here, but like this is where
the broader culture at large, huh?
Yeah, this is where I have I guess like the sympathy for the black women. Is it seems like it feels like, and I could be wrong, there might be big parts of this conversation that I'm missing, and I acknowledge if I am, or because I'm not black, I don't know, and there's probably tons of people I don't even know about that are having these conversations. But it feels like the issue with black women is that when they bring up these are issues that we want fixed, that black men just go society, 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 society. And black women go, okay, well, I've got 3 children in my household that I am raising alone. We're getting college degrees now at greater rates than you. We're probably going to start out earning you. Like you guys are saying society, society, society. Meanwhile, all the society that black men run are destructive towards the black community, and black women have to build and do everything on their own. I don't know if it's enough to like listen to another black guy come on and say like, well, society is the reason why everything is up, when black women like have to do all this shit and there is no like society for them to blame, because if they don't do shit then like black babies just die in the street. I guess that's like the issue that's been communicated to me through black women, and I feel like when I talk to black men that still seems to be the case. That seems to be the issue, unless I'm missing something.
I mean, what do we? I guess I got lost here. I thought I was talking about specifically single black mothers and raising black boys, and where the internalized hatred of black women comes from.
Yeah.
And now you're saying that I'm trying to, you know, excuse.
Yeah, it seems like you're trying to say the reason why black men don't like black women is because of like larger society or something.
Well, that is one component of it, but that's not the over. What I'm trying to say is like it's a very like complicated issue that I don't think you can just. I wouldn't feel comfortable boiling it down to just society or just, you know, internalized hatred or single mothers raising black men who hate black women. I think it's a little bit more complicated than that, and that's why I asked like how interested in this topic were you? Because if you were interested in learning, like I'm open to like point you in the directions of places where you can listen to like people way more intelligent than me speak about these issues. But I guess like where I can start is, like I said, there's 42 million black people in this country. A large percentage of them are middle class and are not particularly dealing with a lot of these issues that we're talking about. Like you've got athletes, you've got the black churches, you've got you know, the black nonviolence organizations that are in the communities. A lot of these are led by men trying to better their community and trying to you know, the communities where they live, and trying to uplift black men. I really don't hear much about that, but I hear about I just hear about all the problems that it's the same thing. It's like all the biggest problem in the black community is economics, but it somehow gets boiled all down to, oh, it's black men running out on black women, and that's like,
yeah, well, because for black women they're gonna say like economics don't make black men kill each other in the streets, economics don't make black men deal drugs, economics don't make black men walk out on their families. Like the same economics that affect black men are affecting black women, but black women don't get into all these problems.
Yeah, well, most black men don't either, though. I mean,
Well, in some neighborhoods, like this is a Cynthia G number. I
minority.
mean, I looked it up; it seemed to be true. But like, there are neighborhoods where like black women outnumber black men like almost 3 to 1 because of how many are gone due to incarceration or homicide
Abortion.
or what?
Or abortion.
Well, I don't think women are specifically aborting black babies yet, unless you're part of the divester community. But
No, they're not. What do you mean? They're not. Wait, say that again. You don't think black?
I don't
women
think they're
specific-
just aborting just black babies that are male. Not yet.
Oh, no, not just that are male, but yeah, that does contribute to. I'm not familiar with this 3 to 1 number, but
Oh, sure. I heard it brought up by a lot of divestiture communities, and I googled it. And apparently, in some communities where the incarceration rates are really high, they're like it's over like 2.5 or something. Women to men, black women to black men in some of these communities. Like the numbers get like really, really, really skewed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that would be what I would think would be, like you said, incarceration and being killed and stuff. But that is, yeah. I mean, is that a widespread thing, or is she cherry picking like specific communities? I would have to go over what she's talking about to even have an opinion on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I really just wanted to push back on the idea of that there is this wide swath of black men who hate black women, or there's this wide swath of black women who hate black men, because we're talking probably less than like 7%, I'd say, because if you add up all the
Wait, hold on. Is that
if you add up all the numbers of of your Fresh and Fits and your whoever else you're thinking of in this black red pill community, you add up all their subscribers, you can add up all their numbers from all their social media platforms, and I think that would probably be less than like.
Yeah, that might be, but the
It's a very
sentiments.
high number.
I could be wrong, but you could tell me, and I'm not looking this up right now. I could look them up if you want, but don't black men date outside of their group more than any other racial demographic in the United States?
Yeah, but once again, that could be for a number of different reasons. That can be for a plethora of different reasons.
No, it might be Asian women and then black men. Maybe I'd have to look it up. Demographics who dates outside.
I think it's 24% of black men marry outside of their race. I think it's something like that.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty big number for. Yeah, the highest discrepancy is between Asian women and men, and then it's black men and women. So Asian women marry outside at quite high rates. Black men marry outside. 25% marry outside of their race, as opposed to 12% of black women.
And so you would then extrapolate that it's because black men hate black women?
I wouldn't extrapolate it to that, but it seems to be from aspects of pop culture I'm aware of, from aspects of red pill communities I'm aware of, from the issues that black women talk about. Back when I was more interested in singers, I remember hearing like Alicia Keys and Beyonce talk about issues related to black men wanting to become successful and going for white women, or if you're a black woman, you feel like you kind of try to have to look white, you got to like straighten your hair, you've got to lighten it up, you got to do all these things that when these issues come out, yeah, it does seem like there is like a special animosity in black communities towards black women. But I could be wrong about that. I don't know. It's just like the impression I get as a white guy looking from the outside.
So when I say, and I agree with everything you just said, or everything you just said is true. So when I say that economics is the biggest issue in the black community, I think that's more what I was thinking of, because when you have black people who are successful and make it, they tend to move outside of the of their community that they came up in, usually to some suburbs, usually to some white suburbs, which to me isn't like, on one hand it is an issue because, like I said, you're taking money out of the black community, and that's where the economic issues come from. Because if all the black athletes and doctors and lawyers, and your Deion Sanders of the world, if they all stayed and tried to uplift and undepress the economic situation that black people find themselves in this country, if the successful ones, I think, would would stay inside of the community more and spread more and invest more inside the community, you know, support more black businesses and stuff like that, invest in the communities, in job creations and you know, real estate and all that, I think we'd be a lot better off, and we'd have a bigger leg to stand on when it comes to funding our own prosperity. And yeah, so when I said economics was the biggest issue, I wasn't like trying to.
Yeah, but like there's going to be like, if you want to,
but
you should like debate somebody's woman. I'm just curious what you'd say, because I feel like I know the black woman response for all of these answers. Like a black woman would say, okay, well, whose fault is it that black men aren't investing in these communities? And like,
it's black men's fault.
Yeah. And they might even say, well, I can't invest in these communities because they're
women,
poor and they're crime-ridden. But then, like, the next thing is like, well, who's committing the crime? It's other black men. Like, it seems like they're going to constantly hit back on that black men are supposed to be leaders of their communities, but they're either destroying it or they're getting rich and leaving, and they're preventing other successful black men from coming in. Like, that seems to be the argument. I don't know if it's true or not, but I mean, like,
if that I can continue. I can like agree with that if that was the argument being made. But it seems like all these other, like, very minuscule problems are being escalated up to the point where like this is the main issue within the black community. And I don't think it's black men hating black women is even like top 10 of our well, no, I'm not gonna say that. It probably is top 10, but it's not like, it's not as prevalent as I guess some of these conversations that I'm hearing make it seem, because like I said, if for all the creators I just named to you, so they talk about these problems from of like a very different viewpoint, and they all have like large followings, I guess you could say. Yeah, so my main point, I guess, was just to say that like this is, and I think Abba even tried to explain this to you a little bit yesterday. This problem is not of black women hating white men or black men hating white women, and, excuse me, black men hating black women and vice versa. This problem isn't as widespread as you think, because from what I see, black women still overwhelmingly date black men. And yes, and black men, the successful ones tend to leave, but when you leave the rest of them, you got what, 75% of black people who, you know, date and marry within their race. Now, yes, that number is lower than other races, but
sure, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily all this, but yeah. I'll say within the online communities it happens, I guess. I remember these arguments came up a lot, and I saw them bubbling up a bit too with the Deion Sanders guy too, that a lot of people were mad because it was an example of another black guy who could have stayed in his community to help more, leaving to go to like Colorado State or whatever for like a bigger I don't remember where he went to, but I saw a lot of these same issues like popping up too, and then there are people defending him, saying, well, he should get to do what he wants, and then other people saying like, well, his community's up. I think even on is it Shay in the Morning or the Breakfast Club, I saw these conversations happening too with some guy that went on to talk about it. So I don't know, but I mean, I'll be more clear.
You were bro, I watch you. You were watching Dr. Umar Johnson, who was
sure,
humongous racist, by the way. I wouldn't listen to shit that guy says. He's racist, so of course he's going to be on the side of, you know, Deion Sanders should have stayed at the HBCU, and why would he bring the money out to the white man? I mean, you have that viewpoint of black people, yes. Most black people don't care, really. You know, they just want to make it in this country. Now there are your like I said, you have your divestment community, and you have your your Pan-African movements who you know want to be all black all the time, and you know keep all black money in black communities. You're gonna run into those people, but by and large, like if you were to like go to each community, like even online community, like you got your black gaming community, you got your black hip-hop community, you got your black beauty community. If you went to any of the people in these communities and talked about these same issues, you'd get wildly different answers. So if you want a full scope of the picture, I would suggest talking to more than these like red pill people who just can hate each other, because that is not indicative or representative of Now we do have a lot of conversations that we have and that we need to have, but I don't think it's like we hate each other, and I don't want it to be represented as though that we hate each other, because most black women, if you ask them, they love black men. They want them to do better. They want of course more out of them. Just like if you ask white women about white men.
I mean, I've seen a lot. You mentioned hip hop community. I've seen a lot of people talking about how that one woman, the blueface shit, is blowing up everywhere. People are pointing to. I've seen, at least on Twitter comments, I see people saying shit like, "This is why I don't fuck with black women," et cetera, et cetera. Now you've got academics blowing up blueface over shit like that. When you talk about gaming community stuff,
in the red pill community. Academics is in the red pill. Yes,
I mean, he kind of
is.
He's a
frequent guest on Fresh and Fit.
He is, but like
ream those girls out on that panel. Like,
okay, but hold on. The hip hop community and the red pill community are going to overline a lot, probably on views of black women. No, or no? Do you not think so?
Well, no. Okay, so I'm not going to completely disagree with that. But I think with the hip hop community, it's more misogynistic. It's not really like hating women. It's more just like
hold on. Is it misogynistic, or they are misogynistic, but there's a special animosity for black women? No,
not particularly for black women.
Okay.
Now there is their aspect of like colorism and black men's preference for lighter skinned women and like mixed women and stuff. There's that whole thing, but that's a whole nother conversation that I don't think it's like black men hate black women. It's just like more of like the fetishization of like that's more the conversation that's having, like the fetishization of mixed girls or lighter skinned girls. That's the conversation that's more had in the hip hop community, but not like hating black women. No. Okay. Not at all. No, man, you will get the biggest support of black women from black men in the hip hop space.
I'm sure there are like for newer rappers for sure. Like I don't think I've ever heard J. Cole shit on black women, or like Kendrick Lamar's not gonna shit on black women. But if you go back like 10, 20 years ago, I feel like there's, but maybe that animosity wasn't especially directed towards black women. Maybe it was just all women. I don't know.
I think it was just all women. I think it was more of a problem of like objectification of women more than like hatred of them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because the big talking point was like the rap videos. All they have is like women shaking their asses and Nelly swiping the credit card down the woman's butt crack and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like it was more like those were the conversations and those were the arguments that were being had more back then. But yeah, no, I do agree that there is some overlap between the red pill and hip hop community, but like I said, it's more of a misogynistic thing with the hip hop community and not more of like a hatred thing. Just to even this out a little bit, yeah, like people like Marcus Lamont Hill and D McFly, who's actually from Philly, and yeah, so like these are people like I'm not telling you who to talk to, and you're obviously going to run your ship the way you want to. But I think like if you did want like a fuller picture of what's being talked about, I don't think the red pill community is the best place to start, because that's going to like kind of like sour your impression of these conversations that are going on, because they've been going on for 30 years now. This isn't anything new. I remember like Oprah Winfrey having on titles of her episodes being like, black men and black women, what are the issues here? Why are black men marrying less black? So these topics have been like discussed and talked about even in the mainstream, like I said, on Oprah Winfrey. So like if you ever, I mean, I can like shoot you some videos to go over on stream if you want, like not long videos, but like if you ever had the time. But yeah, like I watch you a lot, and it's a shitty feeling like hearing, black men are this and black women are this, when my not only experience but my observation of the world has just been completely different. I just wanted to come on and express that to you. But yeah, all love, keep doing your thing, bro. Just maybe consider that, and hopefully do you have a couple of minutes, because there's one more thing like off the topic of race I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, go for it. What's up?
So you were talking to I think Ruminate the other day and a couple other people, and you had said that you were equating right wing, like fringe right wing elements and their popularity in the mainstream to fringe left-wing talking points that get kind of co-opted, or not co-opted, but they get picked up by the culture war of the right. And so instead of me saying what it sounded like you were saying, let me just ask you, do you equate the two? Do you think they're equally as prevalent?
Prevalent? Probably not. I think the right-wing stuff tends to be more... It's hard to compare the two. But like QAnon and shit showed up a ton in real life. The fringe... In government, the fringe left has no representation at all, whereas the fringe right has quite a bit of representation. But in like popular media and culture, it feels like the fringe left has a lot more representation. So social media and entertainment, but
yeah, no, I would agree with that. So, all right, man. So why do you have why are you allergic to like the far left? Like, it seems like you're way more willing to interact with the far right than you are the far left.
Oh, the far left is just toxic, cancerous fucking losers. There's not, and they have way too much cultural power. They have way more cultural power than far right people. So you get in, it's way more damaging to interact with that sect. I'm never getting canceled by a conservative online. They have no power on the internet anymore. But my whole career can get destroyed if I say the wrong thing to a black person or a trans person or whatever, even if I'm not racist or transphobic. So the risk is like way greater.
Okay, so speaking of that, at the end of your conversation with, I know I'm bouncing back to race here, but that reminded me, because I had a few things I wanted to talk about, and we started talking about the first thing for so long. Let's put a pin on that. I do want to come back to that, but so at the end of your first conversation with, like the day before you talked to Angry Man, he came on to the end of the conversation you were having with the guy before. Do you remember that day? And like where he came in yelling at you, and you know, and then you were like, oh, we'll debate tomorrow. So at the end he was like, you're a blue-haired sissy or something, and then you were like, ooh, you're like, damn, I wish I could say what I would. Damn, it sucks because I don't want to get canceled for saying what I wanted to say, and it sucks that, you know, they get to sit there and say whatever they want, but if I were to say what I wanted to say, I would get canceled. And it sounded like you were like, ooh, I want to say something about his race.
I can't say anything without it being potentially about his race. Like, I can't make fun of the way that he looks. I can't make fun of the way that he speaks. I can't make fun of anything about him without it potentially being about race. That's the issue, right? It's just like black people are the trans people now of the internet. Where like I can't make fun of the way a trans person speaks, the way that they look, anything, because it might be transphobic. Same thing with black people. Like I don't know what I can even say without it being like racist. So it's just annoying because like these guys will go in on me. Like I've got chat rooms full of people like calling me and shit and like all sorts of like crazy shit, and that who cares, because black people and homophobia are like bread and butter online. So but I can't say anything back without it being like I got like 2 days worth of shit from half the internet because I said legion of black people, and people were like, oh my god, legion, that's like a racist word. Like what the fuck? Like I basically like had my fucking hood out saying it. So it's annoying being in that circumstance where someone can go ultra hard on you in every aspect of your life, but I don't even know like what the I'd say back. If you heard that and you think like, oh, Destiny just wants to call me the N-word, then I did. Fuck it, I don't care. If you think that, then I did because I hate black people or whatever. But the reality is just that it's annoying that when I'm dealing with certain minority sects online, they have these impenetrable like shield of like +10 homophobia where they can go as hard as they fucking want on me, and I don't even know what the fuck I can say without it counting as like extreme racism or something. That's a very irritating world for me to be in. But
okay, well, let's explore that a little bit. So you said there's not you can't say anything without it being interpreted as extreme racism.
That seems like it, yeah.
Well, I guess it depends on what you want to say, right? Like
I don't know, does it? When I identified, and now everybody's come around to this, but I thought it seemed to me like there was a legion of like online black Zoomer content creators that like screamed a whole bunch, and that was like, it felt like that was all their content, and. Right. That's accurate. If you look at like Speed, or if you look at Kai CNET, like that is, they do now. They're funny too. They do other stuff, but that is like a lot of their content. And now everybody else says that after grossing me for it. But people were saying that I was racist. I hated black people. I was upset that black people were becoming successful, and I'd been wanting to say something about black people for a long time. And that was like one of the most innocuous comments I've ever made about a creator. And like if I'm gonna get like grilled and raked as being racist for that, like what? I don't know what the can even say. You're loud? That's racist to call somebody loud because black people have been called loud in the past? Like that's wild to me. I don't know. I don't like that environment. It just irritating.
Get it. I get where your irritation's coming from. I completely trust me. I understand. Do you really honestly think that was the, because I saw you talk to a couple of people after that, like that were I guess like black creators or whatever, and none of them brought up like the fact that you said so I guess their main point wasn't that you said, you know, that he was screaming, or that it seemed like their problem was with your generalization of 2 streamers whose clips you saw on LSF, and then generalizing that to all young black.
That's fine. I don't care. I already said if you want to have that problem, then overgeneralizing. I can have people overgeneralize me. That's fine. But that wasn't the problem. The thing is that they had to make it racial. That Bruce guy does it all the time. He's doing it right now with Mizkif and his shit. He did it before when he got caught cheating on School. It's the desire to make it like racial is what like amps everything up like a million times over, and that's what makes it really fucking annoying to deal with.
Wait, hello?
Hi.
Oh, you cut off at the end.
Oh yeah, it's just it's the making it racial. Like if somebody wants to say like, oh, you're overgeneralizing. Oh, it's, okay, sure, that's fair. I probably am. And I think I even admitted as much. I've only seen LSF clips. It's fine. But the problem wasn't that people overgeneralized it. It was that people made it racist. Like they said it was racist. I was like, I'm not racist. You can say I overgeneralize, sure, but I'm not being racist. Like,
right. But would you agree that the good faith criticism coming out of that from the good faith people is that that you it's the way you stated it made it sound like you were generalizing young black streamers. Like I think that was
I don't care if they think it. And I hate black people. I hope that's the message they took away. I really do. No. I hope that they feel that way, and I hope that like I can't dance around. Like maybe this is where I fall off the edge, and that's when the like society's moved past me and I'm too old. I can't dance around it that much. Like if people are gonna be in their feelings that much and so fucking horny, like edging themselves constantly, scratching their balls and just jerking off, just waiting for a white guy to say anything that's even remotely racist so they can blow their splooge all over the screen. I can't do that. I can't deal with it. Like I shut on like we talk about XQC and Quebecians. I shut on them constantly. We shut on women constantly. We shut on white people constantly. Like the fragility of like the online black man in terms of like wanting to pull the race card. Like they've got 52 cards in the deck and every single one of them says racism on it. Is just the most infuriating thing in the world. And if it's the thing that does me in, then fine. Then but no, I'm not gonna be like, don't you understand how that could be racist? No, I don't. No, I don't. I truly don't. I truly don't. And if it is to somebody, then think I'm racist. I am. I'm all the racist things they want me to be and more, if that's the case. It's just too much for me, in my mind. I understand how some people can be socialized and think it's racist, but it's way too much for me. I don't care.
I mean, and listen, if that's the route you want to go, that's fine, but just know that you're always going to have an issue with this if that's your stance.
With black people, to be clear. Yeah. Asians don't do this, Hispanics don't do this, Jews don't do this. And women barely are starting to do it, I guess, but it's the black community is the one that's the really scary one online, where if they interpret you as doing anything racist, like
Jews don't do this, but women don't do this.
For Jews, I have to start talking about like genociding them online for them to give a fuck, right? Like I can make all the
or you can just post a link to a movie. Like,
hey, what? What? Post a link to a movie?
Yeah. Yeah, that
I know you're not talking about Kyrie.
Yeah.
He posted a link to an anti-Semitic Holocaust-denying conspiracy film.
That's what they say.
That's what it is.
Okay, I don't want to get into that whole thing, but he posted a link to a movie, like I said, and he got canceled for it. Like,
Well, hold on. You think it's fair to criticize me for using Black Legion, or that I deserve to get, or this is what I'm going to get, but you would give a pass to Kyrie?
I'm not saying I'm giving a pass to Kyrie. I'm just countering your argument that people aren't sensitive.
Okay, well, I wish that the standards for talking about black people were the same as the standards for talking about Jewish people. To where, like, the only way that I can get shit on by the black community is if I post, like, a link to a movie that talks about how, like, slavery wasn't real. If that was the standard, I'd be...
You can't even say they without people thinking, like, you're talking about the Jewish conspiracy.
Because everybody that says they is talking about the Jewish conspiracy. What do you mean?
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. If I say they, I'm not talking about the Jewish conspiracy.
Do you think when Kanye says they, he's talking about Jews?
Yes.
Do you think when Kyrie says they, they're talking about Jews?
I've never heard Kyrie talk about Jews, ever.
Okay.
I've never heard him say one word about Jewish people. I saw him send a link to a movie which he may not even have fully understood. You know, like those were fleeting references. That wasn't like the overall point of the movie was that, you know, the Holocaust didn't happen. Like that was a fleeting moment in the movie that he may have caught, may not have caught. Like he never made any statement on the movie overall, and he got canceled for it. So it's like, miss me with that. You know, black people are especially sensitive shit. Yeah, like when you live in a country where you've been shit on for your entire existence in this country, you damn right people are going to be sensitive or wary about, like, you know, people who say things that don't sit right. You know, it's just you can't intuit somebody. You can't like say somebody's racist, like, or like you can't say for sure, like, I don't know if you're racist. All I can go by are the comments you make, the way you frame things, like your relationship to you know, black people or black issues. That's all we have to go off of. And if you're saying things like, you know what, fuck it, call me a racist. If you guys can't understand what I'm saying, and or if you guys are too sensitive to, you know, to take a comment, then you know, just then I'm just racist. What are people left with on that? Like, what are people supposed to think?
That I'm racist.
I mean, I don't think you're racist. I think that you are a white boy from. Hold on one second. I'm so sorry about that. I really apologize.
No, you're good.
All right. So yeah. So I guess we're just left with just, you know, having to. So like I said, I don't think you're racist. I think you're a white boy from Nebraska who didn't have much contact with black people growing up. You've been on the internet basically your whole life, so that's going to even lessen your contact with black people. So I don't get like too caught up in like if you're racist or if you're not. I just want to meet you where you're at and have conversations with you where you're at.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not so interested in calling you racist, as in I'm interested in like understanding like your mind, like your frame of mind going into this. So like I said, back to like Angry Man, like you were insinuating that the only thing that you could say to him would be about his race. Like that was the only comeback you could think of.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay, so is that that's as far as is it you want to get into?
Well, I mean, I don't know what else I can say. I already explained it. I said that basically anything I say can be interpreted as being racist. If your interpretation is I just wanted to like be racist, I mean,
no, I'm asking you. I'm not. That's not my interpretation, Destiny. I'm really just asking you, like, what, like, so. In my mind, I could have thought of like 3 or 4 different things you could have said about him, like what? You know, his appearance,
his appearance,
him wearing jewelry, him smoking a cigar, like he's trying to like.
You think I could make fun of a black guy wearing jewelry without somebody like making an implication about that?
That nut ass chain. Yeah, you could have said something about his stupid ass chain he had on his neck. What the f? Don't have to be nothing to do with his race if he's wearing a stupid fucking chain. And sitting there smoking a cigar like he's some mafia tough guy. Okay. Or, you know, yeah, I mean, you could have said something about him being bald. I'm just saying, like, maybe. Was race the only thing that came to your mind in that
No,
moment?
I didn't say race was the only thing that came to my mind. I said anything that I say to him can be perceived as racist. That's the issue.
Okay. Now I'm understanding it better. Now I'm understanding. So that's all. I wasn't making any accusations with that.
It sounded like it, but that's all good.
If I came off like I did, I guess I got to work on my delivery. And I hate because I don't want to use the phrase "I'm just asking questions" because that's a loaded term. But I really, like I said, I'm a long time viewer and listener of yours, and when there's things that I disagree with, these are the questions I'm asking myself in my head. So it's not like I'm coming on here like, boom, I'm gonna get Destiny with this.
Sure.
But
you understand that I would feel like really weird, and maybe this is just my inner white boy, but I feel like I could probably get in a lot of trouble if I'm on a podcast with a bunch of black dudes and I start saying shit like, "This is why you wear that horrible jewelry or whatever." That's gonna sound like I'm some old, like I'm in Gran Torino, like talking about guys with baggy pants or something. That's what it's gonna come off as, right?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. Not if you said like, look at that. I mean, you don't have to say nut ass, but look at that stupid ass chain you have on. That shit must be weighing down your neck. Or, you know, that what you could call it fake, or you can say it looks fake. There's plenty of ways you can come at him without it having like to.
It looks fake. What, like he's broke? Like you can't afford that chain? Bro, I want you to write me. Here's what I want you to do, okay? I want you to write me insults for the next, because dude, I would get destroyed for saying shit like that. But I want you to write me some and I'll use them in my next. If I would accuse a black dude of having a fake chain,
laugh.
Okay, maybe.
What? Why? What? Wait. Why would that be confusing?
I don't know. In my mind, I'm thinking like, what? He can't afford it because he's black and poor. He can't afford real jewelry. That's where like my mind would go, and I feel like that's what a million people on the internet would start saying. I'm talking about a black guy's like fake jewelry weighing down his neck, like I want to lynch him or something. That's where the internet comments are gonna go. Like 1,000,000% if I start making comments like that. There's like no way, dude. Like slavery, chains, all this. Like I don't know. I feel like there's a million different ways that I get canceled for these comments.
Oh my god, yo, it's so interesting to hear like just where people's minds can go. Okay,
bro, I almost got people trying to cancel me for 2 days for saying legion of black people. Like legion was like a loaded word, and I can't even through my like 50 million understandings of racism, even I can't connect that to like a racist comment.
Me neither. My best interpretation of that is that you said legion meaning like a whole bunch, and you were talking about two people, so they're like, what do you mean legion when you're talking about two people? I don't think people were trying to equate the word legion with having something to do with like black people. Was that really a criticism you were getting? Like the word, like the actual meaning of the word legion?
I don't know. It felt like people were bouncing back and forth between. They were trying to say it was overgeneralization, then they were trying to say it was a racist overgeneralization, and it sounded like they were trying to make it sound like it had to do with that word in particular, because people use legion a lot. But maybe I don't know. I'm not sure. I can't tell. I don't know. Online issues.
No, it's a whole bunch. It's interesting to hear your experience and your viewpoint, because what you just said about him, like if you were to mention something about his chain, those thoughts never would have went through my head. But it's interesting to hear like your perspective on it.
Yeah, this is you don't understand the oppression that white people have when it comes to being racist anymore. Okay, because we can be racist in ways we don't even know. Okay, it's hard out here. It's hard out here.
I mean, back in the day, you just drop your N-bomb and keep it moving, and you didn't really have to think twice about it, right?
True. It's a different world out here for us white guys, okay? Okay. No,
man, so, yeah. I know I said I was going to put a pin on the leftist part, but we'll maybe get back to that another time. I've taken up enough of your time. But basically, like, yeah, listen. Mm-hmm. I don't think you're racist.
Thanks.
I just think that you have no. Listen. I know that's like not a compliment, but I just think that there's a lot that you could learn from different experiences. Like meet some black people outside. Like like the internet. The internet is not a representation of real life. I mean, it can be in some ways, but I wouldn't take what you do or find on the internet and like extrapolate that into like society as a whole, because you're playing dangerous games. Then like you're going to keep running into the same problem where you're like well, my experience is when I talk to black people, especially on the internet, these black men are telling me that they hate black women, and I got 20 emails from black women that are telling me that they hate black men. So there has to be some truth to this.
I'll specify for now, and it's the online black Redpill and divester communities.
And divester, black, educated, college educated, or non-educated communities. Like, no, I'm just playing. But, I hope you get the gist of what I'm saying. Yeah, Markless Lamont Hill, write that down if you're interested. Power to the Pod is another good one. And the African Diaspora News Channel. They will have all these conversations that you're talking about right now and more if you're interested, if anybody's interested, to get a better understanding of some of these dynamics. So gotcha. Okay. That's it. Thank you so much for having me, bro.
Yeah, no problem.
It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, it's fun. Have fun.
All right, you too.
Bye. I'm totally going to go in on some dude's chain. I'm gonna see what happens, okay?
Do you know how triggered I was just sitting at home smashing my screen?
I hope you were ultra triggered.
No. Do you really think that black folks are the ones you can't talk about, and then all of a sudden, like, people come down on you hard? Do you really think that?
A little bit, but not because of black people, but because they right now are getting an explosive community online. Like if I talk shit about like fucking Mexicans or Asian people, they don't really have the same online presence or communities as
Sure. If you said something about Muslims or Arabs,
no, Muslims, those motherfuckers are crazy too. They will, they come at you.
There's not even a comparison, bro. Like I made a mild criticism of like some Arab states and the way that they treat their maids, which is like well documented. Bro, I got death threats. I got people telling like they're gonna cut off my head. I've never
the online there's like a huge online Muslim debater community too. Yeah, the online Muslim people are wild. That's why Sneeko bitched out so hard. Remember?
Yeah. Sneeko's all about system bots. And the moment the Muslims came from, he said, "MashaAllah, it's haram to say anything about Allah."
Oh yeah, true.
I love the Bible, but you know the Quran is kind of cool. You know what I mean? He got cut so hard. I still have that image of the Muslim man his values, which always makes me laugh. But yeah, no, I feel like there's other communities, and I do think the point he made about the Jewish folks is pretty fairly true. I don't think you can get online and say,
wait, fuck. When your voice trails off, it's really hard for me to hear at the end.
Sorry. I was just saying, like, even with the Jewish community, I think that's also fairly similar. I don't think you can make, working in any kind of professional environment, say stuff about Israel or say stuff about Jewish people and expect to even be able to keep.
Well, yeah, working in professional environments, sure. I was thinking about it in terms of like, what would you get like the most for like online? I think the Jewish stuff has changed a little bit recently, especially with all of the weird like the Kanye stuff. Like that definitely changed shit. But I feel like when I think of like crazy progressives, I feel like they don't really care that much about Jewish shit. Like if they can attack certain people with it, they will, but
yeah, but I don't even think that kind of stuff really matters nearly as much as like the corporate pressure that you losing your job or things like that. That to me is far more stressful and far more terrifying than having people on Twitter try to cancel. Like I don't really care about that.
Well, it depends.
When I hear people like having to lose their jobs, lose their lines of employment, give up everything, like that to me hits drastically different person.
Yeah, but hold on, not personally, because personally, no, it doesn't hit us that way, right? Because that's what I was talking about. I am talking about personally, because personally, I don't give a f corporate bullshit does, because that doesn't affect me as much. Now, if I had a job at like Amazon or Facebook or some shit, then I'd probably care about that more, because the Jewish anti-Semitic shit as of recently could get you super shit can. But in terms of like online like cancellation, I've made some like kind of edgy Jewish jokes before, but I've never even remotely. I don't think that those communities even exist online. But yeah, in like the mainstream like corporate world or whatever, yeah, I would agree with you for sure.
Okay. So you don't entirely.
Yeah, it's just like what can you like personally, like what can I get like personally fucked for is what I'm thinking of.
Got you. Yeah. You can't say what he was telling you about the chains. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to.
Oh no,
I don't
dude.
know what.
I'm going big on that one, dude. I've always wanted to say anything. I see some of these black men out here wasting all this money on this foolish jewelry. No, and I just want to go on. Oh my goodness. Feed your kids. Why you got that chain on? Oh, I'm going so fucking hard on the next conversation. Shh, I'm gonna get killed if I shut that shit on my phone. I gotta be careful, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, definitely do not do that. When he was saying that, I'm like, is this guy serious right now? I thought he was trolling at first, and he was dead ass. Like, yo, tell him his chain's ugly. Tell him that shit looks stupid, son. I was like, bro, please don't do that. That shit gonna look so bad. You should be able to, though. You should be able to, because they do look really stupid a lot of times. But sure. You are correct that as white people, if you guys were to say that shit,
probably just would, yeah. Chance it might, maybe no one cares, but there's also a chance that it just comes off like really poorly.
No, in the context of your history online, people would look at
like I can already see the pictures of like the only chains Destiny wants you to wear are this chains of slavery or some stupid shit. Like I can already see the fucking tweets that like people will be writing over that shit.
And you've had Annalisa on too, so they'll be like, look at him, the way he supports these black women, tearing down black men. This dude's just racist. You know what I mean? They'll find something for you. But I was you said you had a debate coming up in a few minutes?
Or not a debate, but Vikram and Alex wanted to jump in and chat about something, I guess.
I don't even know who those people are. But I want to ask you something, because I had a pretty big debate recently with somebody. And we were talking about child support.
Okay.
And he was basically arguing for the fact that he feels like child support, demanding that men pay for children that they did not want and could not opt out of, was unethical. And I kind of disagree with them, because I just feel like from a societal standpoint, kids need tending to. And if you contributed to the child being here on this planet, even though it may be unfair to you under certain circumstances, I think that for the betterment of society, it's good for the parents to have to take care of that child. What did you think about the whole child support?
Man,
I think you might be more red pill than me on this one.
I think it's one of those things that just sucks, dude. It sucks that like we have to pay child support. I don't get any say over you boning the baby. That sucks. But being pregnant and delivering also sucks, and having periods sucks. So there are some things in life that are kind of like biological. Red pill guys love this, biological realities that are not fair. One of those is that women have like a biological clock on when they can have kids, and that can influence a lot of life decisions. And for men, it's that once the baby is grown in the mother's womb, there's not really much say that you have over it. So yeah, I think that's just, it sucks shit and I hate it, but I think that's just like an unfortunate reality of how our biology is like intermingled basically.
Yeah, so the way I kind of looked at it is it's the best solution from a pretty shitty situation. In that, the three outcomes that I kind of picked out were like, one, if you don't want the kid and she does, then we should give you the right to be able to force an abortion, which sounds terrible. And I don't think should be legal, because now it has all kinds of legal implications. Like the government can go inside your body and do stuff to you against your will, which, yeah, that sounds fairly crazy enough as it is. Do you agree that's already pretty bad?
You can't do forced abortions. That sounds wild, yeah.
Right. Yes, because the implications, the reason why you can't do it is because the implications of going and like defiling somebody's bodily autonomy. We in agreement? Okay. Then the second one I think I wrote down is we don't force the father to be involved, and therefore we have a bunch of people out there, or a bunch of women or single parents who have to take care of the children by themselves, in which case we have a society in where kids are not growing up with dual income at all and have no financial support, which the kids would otherwise need. And then what ended up happening is either we subsidize it through taxation, which means everyone else has to pay for your child that you've brought into this world or through your DNA, or we don't increase the taxation at all, and the kids kind of have to fund themselves with a single parent and a parent who can opt out. And I think the implications of that are also pretty terrible, because it kind of gives people who are potentially having frivolous sex with like no care for what the implications mean, that they can constantly father a bunch of children or mother a bunch of children and not take care of them with zero expectation of responsibility. And I just think it's also just terrible for those kids in those scenarios.
Yeah, I think basically like you just have to shift the perspective that child support is not for it's not punitive. It's not supposed to be a punishment for somebody, and it's not supposed to be fair for the parents. It's just supposed to be like, how do we fund the children? Like that's all it's really for. Yeah. And if that's the case you take, you kind of just have to like have guys pay for it. And it sucks that you can't do like a financial abortion, but like again, like let's say you do that, what happens? Like we don't have an infrastructure taxpayer system to pick everything up for people. So
Wait. Can you put me on what's a financial abortion? I've never heard of this.
So I don't want to say red pillers, actually. Even outside the red pill community, some people say that men should be able to abdicate, be able to. Yeah. There's a word I'm looking for. There's a word I'm looking for. Men should be able to choose to have a financial abortion, where they say like, okay, well, I'm not going to be involved in this kid's life at all, and I don't want the financial responsibilities, and then you move away.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
That's a financial abortion. You have no financial like ties to the child at all. Essentially, that's what a financial abortion.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So it was what I was describing. There's just a different term for it. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, that's just terrible. I think for the individual man who doesn't want the child, then I think they think it's great. But for the children that are being fostered in these environments, I think it's terrible. Here's the thing: I would feel a lot more sympathy for a lot of these guys if they had conscious conversations with the individual prior that they did not want these children, and that they were engaging in sex responsibly to like minimize their risks. And then afterwards, like let's say if they get fucked over and the girl's like, I'm keeping the kid anyways, after you've gone through like birth control and done all this other stuff and you still have the kid, like I feel a tremendous amount of sympathy in those kind of scenarios. But the truth is most people are not doing that. They're not talking about it beforehand. They are engaging this shit frivolously. And then after the fact, then they want to have those conversations when it's already very far gone. And so when I think of financial abortions, I'm not for it, and I have less sympathy for the dudes because I don't even think they did what was necessary to not put themselves in that situation.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. Yeah, rather than just like up and disappearing, or just like being like, oh fuck, what are we gonna do, and then not having a conversation about it. Yeah, and I think you should be worried about the prospect of getting someone pregnant, because at the end of the day, if you don't, and you think you just financially abort the child, and then what ends up happening is that you have a bunch of kids out there that you're fathering with no care because you can just leave at any point with no legal repercussions. Is that a good society where we tell people that they can contribute to making kids exist on this planet? And like it's not like abortions are you just take a pill and you have a headache the next day. They're actually tremendously traumatic for the people involved. Like they up women for sometimes months, weeks, even longer, depending on some of the psychological scars. And so we can't treat abortion, right, like it's this easy solution to a situation that you can potentially engage in endlessly if we have these kind of financial abortions, if that makes sense. Do you disagree? No, yeah, depending. Abortions can suck. I know a woman at I work with like 6 abortions. I don't know why. She had one and she came in the next day. She was wild. But no, like largely I agree with you. Like even Plan B can have like shitty effects on the body and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the third possibility is the one that we have now, which is like your DNA is what contributes to the child, and rather than other people subsidizing this kid, or it's everyone else's job to pay the child support that you refuse to pay because you want to finally abort the child or whatever. I think it should be incumbent on the people who contributed to the child to be beholden to their well-being. Which I don't know. To me, if you believe in personal responsibility, then I think that is the one that's most likely. If you were to make the case for financial abortion, how would you do it?
If I were to make the case for financial abortion, I mean, once the mother is pregnant, there's a huge decision on the table, and she gets to choose, irrespective of what the man wants, that he has to pay, even if he doesn't want to. So, like, we can talk about like the woman has a right to her body, but does the man not have a right to his body at all? Because we're essentially talking about the man having to choose between being in 18 years of financial slavery just because the woman, decides that she wants to have a baby that the man wants to abdicate responsibility for, and is that fair for the man? Yeah, that's like the argument on their end. Yeah.
I think it is true that it's unfair that we don't have as much say in these kind of scenarios, and that we have a huge financial. I do agree it's unfair.
I mean, I don't know if that's unfair. There's unfairness on both sides, but that's like a biological reality.
From the woman's side,
she has to do all the work when it comes to like getting pregnant and delivering a baby.
Yeah, but she can opt out if she doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't as much. I don't understand. I don't know that.
It's just hormones. Like once you have a child and the stuff that's pumped into your brain, the feelings that you get are just completely different.
Man, I don't know.
Like you're talking about a logical and sensible response, but the truth is, once you're actually faced with that and you're everything, Okay, here's an example. Trans women, when they transition, all of a sudden they start taking tests and they feel this incredible horniness and like aggression that they never felt before. Like that's a hormonal change. You don't think that pregnancies can do something similar, if not even more intense?
Not 100%, but it goes into a whole other field of decision making. When it comes to like hormones and when it comes to compromised decision making, I can believe in like I'll buy like very like intense like impulsive things, but like pregnancy is you've got like some time to think about it. Like you're not crazy fucking hormonal for for months and months such that you can't think through anything logically. I think what's more. No, I actually don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know. Fuck it. Maybe that is the case. I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it more. Or maybe this is my sociopathy coming through. I don't know why you would subject yourself to that unless you're like staunchly pro-life, then I could understand it. But I don't know why otherwise a normal thinking human being would subject themselves to what's going to be just like a fucking horrible life as a single mom if your like baby daddy's already left. That just seems fucking dog shit. But
I imagine just having something kicking your stomach just feels different.
Yeah, but that motherfucker won't start kicking until like fucking 6 or 7 months, okay? It takes a long time to work those kicks up, okay?
Kill it before it kicks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, cool.
A YRG member asked Destiny if he's racist. This is his response. Nah, I don't want everything to be so sensitive either when it comes to race, but I know the WL community is so it be tough publicly associating with edgy motherfuckers because our community just call me a coon or some. Jesus. Bruce Dropoff went live off his burner account and got banned for calling Twitch crackers and people to off themselves. Oh my God.
The thing about that community, what I've always known, you can't don't let you say anything wrong with the white man. Don't critique the white man. They can critique the black man to the fullest and put clips in fast mode and make us look like monkeys all they want to, but
motherfucker, you literally cheated on Miz's first show and then cried racism when people called you out on it. God, he's actually so fucking pathetic.
Critique the black man to the fullest and put
like, bro, you're a fucking millionaire at age like 12. What are you crying about? What are you crying about the white man? Holy shit. Bro, this guy probably makes more than like 95% of the NBA. And, well, I don't know how often he streams. Maybe he doesn't stream that much, maybe he doesn't. But like, Jesus, like, this guy gets like 5-figure stream numbers, doesn't he? 30,000, 20,000 fucking viewers? Holy shit. Pretty sure like 95% of the white men would trade places with you in an instant. Oh my God.
Put clips in fast mode and make us look like monkeys all they want to, but don't you dare say something about white people. Man, that shit so lame. Cracker ass niggas, real shit. And if they ban me for that, then so be it. I will see y'all niggas on.
He admittedly never had a job before Twitch. Nice.
Kick. On God, literally. All them cracker ass niggas on the internet talking shit. Fuck them. What they gonna do to me? I got banned for saying that shit. I double down, little nigga.
Damn.
So arm, I built, bro. We built the.
If he really got a ban for this, that means the minimum ban length is either 30 days or indefinite. The median NBA salary is $10 million. Wait, really? Okay, that's wild if that's true. Per year? Wait, this says median NBA salary is 4.3 million. No, per game. How many subs did this guy have on Twitch? 50,000, and he's getting he's probably getting, I don't know what the rev cuts even look like anymore. We'll say times $5 a sub. We'll say 70% if he's not getting 100. So 175. This is before taxes. So in sub revenue, he's making 2.1 million. About. I don't know what he gets on donos. I don't know if he does sponsorships. I don't know if he does anything else. But like, I'm pretty sure the new CBA agreement median is $10 million.
The thing about that community, what I've always known. You can't don't let you.
Oh, ready to watch this.
You can't be mad at another person's decision no matter what. Some of these niggas, man. If I was about to say what I was about to say, like it's facts, but I'm not even gonna bring that up because that's their business. But some of these the decisions that some of these niggas make in life, period. Most of them need to just kill themselves because of the decisions that they make. But we're not going to speak too much on that, though.
Oh,
but
yeah?
I respect his opinion, but what he didn't know is, how seven cars were, you know what I'm saying? What happened Monday, what I just expressed to y'all. And the text that he sent me has something along the lines to do with that, saying how it didn't happen. Man, I'm black, bro. I have legal guns in my crib. You know what I'm saying? That is dangerous. Point blank, period. It's dangerous. It's weird. I didn't give it attention on my main.
Wait, what? Wait, what the fuck did that sentence even mean? I'm black, so I've got legal guns in my crib? How are these things connected?
At all. And I'm kind of mad that I'm giving it attention on here, but the shit that people say, I don't care if it's a circle of people that know the real. Y'all don't have to go spread this shit because I just want y'all to know it. I don't want.
Is he like worried about getting like swatted and like shot by the cops, or?
I want them to know this
saying
shit.
He got
it's for my core
okay.
community to know. And I'm still not even saying what it was because I don't want to bring attention to that weird ass toxic shit. That ain't that shit has never happened to me before until I went on there and literally collabed with him.
Damn. Wild.